co-founder of the Cronus Group and now the CEO of Tidal Royalty, joins me from Montreal. Do not answer the question yet, sir. We will allow good time to tease and titillate before we get there. On this question of cannabis and Canada, how significant is it that Canada's now the first?
Oh, it's truly a historic milestone. Canada is, as you said, the first G7 nation. It's only the second country in the world after Uruguay to bring in a recreational cannabis program. But given the size of Canada, approximately 34 million people, and really the influence Canada is now having on the global cannabis economy, the historic nature of today simply cannot be overstated.
So if it, I mean, obviously, in the immediate future, of course, the eyes look south to the United States. You've already got Colorado, and there's the potential for California. If the United States, which seems a long way off, was to take the similar sort of steps, that would be obviously the game changer.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the idea that the U.S. cannabis economy is going to be one of the great global cannabis economies. But for the reasons you averred to, the dichotomy between federal and state law, sort of its growth is being impeded. Whereas Canada, because we have consistent rules between our federal government and our provinces, it's allowing the formation of efficient capital markets. Those capital markets are allowing our businesses to grow to scale in the here and now, and that's giving us the ability to impact the global cannabis industry.
With that uncertainty, CNN.com/join is where the question is being asked. With that uncertainty, where would you vote on whether or not the current stocks, they're certainly volatile, that's to be expected, but are they overhyped?
You know, I think the industry is not overhyped. I think we are really building a very long-term durable industry that will justify some of the valuations that people today think are excessive. What I would say, though, is we're transitioning in Canada from an era where every asset in the asset class is getting a lift, if you will, because of the excitement around pending legalization. And now we're going to start looking more carefully at a company-by-company basis to really see which of these companies are set up to dominate globally and therefore perhaps justifying their current and perhaps even growing valuations, and which ones maybe caught up a little bit in the emotions around today's historic day.
So when you value those companies, what are the metrics that we should look at? Bearing in mind, obviously, you were involved in one of them, but these are companies we don't know. We don't know their provenance or indeed their abilities to make earnings and profits. All we know is that this is a gravy train leaving the station. So how should we look at those companies?
Yeah, I mean, we can value these companies now using benchmark sort of investment banking or certified financial analytical tools. We can look backwards at their earnings. We can project where their revenue is going to grow. We can calculate their margins. So it's a little less opaque than it was 3 or 4 years ago, because at least in Canada, these companies now, several of which are publicly traded and therefore providing continuous disclosure to the investment community, they have enough years of operational history now that we can start to begin to evaluate them by making an estimation of forward-looking earnings and providing a multiple to those earnings.
Are you surprised, sir, that the result is in? And most of the Quest Means Business viewers who took part at CNN.com/join, a wise and dedicated bunch of viewers, they all say that the stock, or 59% say the stocks are overhyped, 41% say they're not. Are you surprised?
You know, I didn't really have a strong intuition as to how the educated consumer or audience would follow.
Excellent.
But I think, you know, I think that somewhat is consistent with what I'm saying is some of these companies are going to look, we're going to look back and some of these companies are going to look like they were priced at a premium today. Others are going to look like they were priced at a discount. So my general feeling is that the industry justifies the expectation that investors are placing on us, but no doubt there are going to be some individual companies that don't justify the hype around them today.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you as always. Please come back again and talk more as we understand what's happening. And